Hello guys, this is your friend and we are back with a new fanfic. Which is what if Tsunade fell in love with Naruto after adopting him, part 1. And if you enjoy this fanfic then please press the like button and subscribe to my channel for more fanfic like this. And now let's start a fanfic. On the night of October 10th, we see a crying infant whose eyes and face were replicas of Kushina Uzumaki. Hair was red with white stripes on it and 3 whisker marks on each cheek. It was like male Kushina with 3 whiskers marks on each cheek. Event goes same as the canon, only Naruto gets full Baiju instead of just half of it, because when Minato sees red hair he knew that Uzumaki genes has dominated his genes but couldn't understand white hair because nor he or Kushina had white hair, but he ignored this and sealed full Baiju in Naruto. The third Hokage arrives at the scene and sees the most horrifying scene. The fourth Hokage, Minato Namikaze, had a big hole in his stomach and seemed like he was dead. Hiruzen didn't believe his eyes. How could this happen? And then he saw Kushina, who was also impaled through her stomach while holding a red-haired infant. Instantly he went there. Kushina says weakly, His name is Naruto Uzumaki. She chose her surname because the moment Naruto became Jinchuriki she knew that this village would outcast him. If she had given the name of her husband then his lives would also be in danger because Minato had many enemies. This is my and Minato child, we trust you with him, and like that she also joins Minato. Scene change. On the outskirts of Konoha Forest, we can see one blonde lady with 2 ponytails in her mid-20s and one teenage black-haired girl with a pig in her hand. Damn it Shizune, how long until we reach there? Blonde lady complaint. Just 1 more hour Lady Tsunade and we will be there. By the way, why are we going Konoha, Lady Tsunade? I thought you hated that place. The girl asked the blonde woman. I still hate it Shizune, it's just that someone very important to me is there. And we are going to take him from that place. After an hour the two arrived at the giant gate of Konoha. Shizune, I'm going to the sensei. You refill our supplies. As soon as I get what I want we will leave the place. Hi Lady Tsunade. And just like that the two go their way. Scene change. At the council meeting everyone was murmuring to each other. Quite. Hiruzen says with chakra-enhanced voice. As we know, our village was attacked by the 9 tails and many of our comrades lost their lives including our beloved 4th Hokage. Get to the point Hiruzen, we want to know what happened to the 9 tails, someone named Danzo said. Hiruzen gritted his teeth in anger but controlled himself, after all he was called professor. Despite his age everyone knew that he is strong. I was getting to that Danzo and it's Hokage-sama to you, Hiruzen said. As I was saying before someone very rudely interrupted me, our beloved 4th Hokage is no more, but before he died he sealed the 9 tails in a child. Everyone started murmuring but suddenly the council gate opened and everyone saw Tsunade. Sensei, where is Naruto? She immediately shot out. Hiruzen gave a sign to his Anbu and an Anbu gave the child to Hiruzen. Everyone, this is Naruto Uzumaki, Jinchuriki of the 9 tails. Before anyone could say anything Danzo said that he should take custody of Jinchuriki. Hearing this Tsunade filled the room with her killer intent. Everyone gasped in horror. After all, she was the strongest kunoichi in the world. Rumors even said that she was the strongest of the 3 legendary Sannin. After all, she was the granddaughter and grandniece of the 1st and 2nd Hokage. I will not let you take my last member of the clan, Tsunade said with anger in her voice. What are you talking about Tsunade-sama? He is an Uzumaki and you are. Tsunade cut Fugaku in the middle. And my grandmother was Mito Uzumaki, Tsunade said with a sense of pride in her voice. My youth is evidence of my Uzumaki genes. Uzumaki or not, the Jinchuriki doesn't belong to any clan, Danzo said with a smirk on his face. It looks like I didn't spoke my real motive to all of you here. I didn't come here only because he is an Uzumaki, but I have also come because I want to train him when he gets older. Before you say it that it should be you Danzo. We all know the method of your training in Jinchuriki is highly influenced by his emotions in order to draw the demon power, Tsunade said with a smirk. She knew that the clan card would not run here after all. Jinchuriki never belonged to any clan, it belonged to the village. This law was made by the second Hokage himself. Now everyone in the civilian council was silent, but suddenly Mebuki Haruno said, "What are you all talking about? Training? We should kill the demon when his power is sealed." Hearing this, everyone from the shinobi council eyed Mebuki Haruno. "Sensei, tell me why the civilian council is speaking in the shinobi matter," Tsunade asked Hiruzen with anger in her voice. "Why even the civilian council is here? This is a purely shinobi matter." Tsunade always hated civilian council, but she also knew that most of the village finances came from civilian side, so they were important too. "Tsunade, as you know, everyone in the village is scared right now. They all need some assurance regarding their safety. That's why I have called them." Hiruzen explained the situation. Tsunade nodded. "We are distracting from the main point here," Shikaku said. At this, Tsunade smiled, thinking about her trump card, and said, "As we all know, in this village nobody will accept Naruto, especially civilian side of the village. I can understand them that they are scared because they didn't experience any of this before, and they will all blame Naruto for this, and like that they will target Naruto, and we all know that Jinchuriki needs strong will in order to keep and use his Baiju, and if any day he lost himself and released the nine tails, then Kami knows what will happen then." Hearing Tsunade, civilian council got scared and Danzo gritted his teeth in anger. "Damn you, Tsunade, at this rate, they will be scared and they will all accept you. Why you to interfere? I'd all planned out why you to show yourself." Hiruzen smirked, looking at Danzo. Danzo never showed any emotions before, and now his face really seemed angered. If he just knew that the one who informed Tsunade about Naruto was none other than Hiruzen himself. "But Tsunade, you don't live in the village and we can't afford to send off our Jinchuriki outside the village. Take this, Tsunade. How will you counter it?" Danzo thought. Shikaku spoke next. "We should compromise. Tsunade-sama, why don't you live here in the village raising Naruto, and when he can live without you, you can run the hospital or go back." Shikaku looked at the council and said, "We all know that nobody can adopt Naruto and will not want to, but Tsunade-sama has offered us the adoption, but we all know she can't. As per our village laws. But we can give this boy to Tsunade-sama as her apprentice because we all know that our Jinchuriki should be strong in order to serve this village, and no one is better candidate than Tsunade-sama. Not only she's strongest kunoichi and best medical ninja in the world, but also strongest in the three Sannin." Shikaku knew that Danzo will use every last of his strength to keep Naruto himself, but he can't let the Danzo to get the boy. After all, his friend's son at least deserved this. Everybody thought about this and nodded to Hiruzen. Then Hiruzen said, "What do you say, Tsunade? Will you accept it these terms?" Tsunade knew that she will not get better than this because he is a Jinchuriki, Uzumaki or not. "I accept this. I came here to adopt Naruto, but if I can train and keep him, then I will stay in the village." Hiruzen cleared his throat and said, "Who agrees with this raises their hand." First Shikaku raised his hand, following Shuza, Inoichi, Shibi, Sum, Hiyashi and Hisastently Fugaku. Everyone except Danzo raised their hands. "Then it's decided. Tsunade will raise and teach young Naruto here," Hiruzen said with a smile. First in his lifetime he was satisfied with counsel. Scene change. In the Hokage office, Hiruzen was looking at Tsunade waiting for his answer, and then Tsunade smiled, holding baby Naruto in her arms. "You raised a valid question, Sensei, but I already came up with a jutsu for this problem. If everything is well, then Naruto will not need cow milk to drink." Hiruzen was surprised at her answer and said, "What? When?" At this Tsunade chuckled and said, "I'm the strongest Sannin for a reason, Sensei. You see, when you informed me about Naruto, I immediately thought about this and came up with an idea. When I will use this jutsu, I can produce milk with my at any time, and that will not be any ordinary milk. That milk will be mixed with my chakra so that Naruto will grow at an exponential rate." Tsunade said this smiling. "Ingenious, Tsunade. Ingenious. Only you can come up with a jutsu like that. After all, you are the best medical ninja." Hiruzen said with a smile and pride in his voice. After all, he was the one who trained her. Hiruzen still remembered when he decided to take her as an apprentice. He only took her because she was in the team of his favorite student Orochimaru, but now he was glad that he took her, and unlike her other two teammates, she didn't have any bad quirk. One was obsessed with jutsu and became a traitor, and other one was perverted. His thoughts were interrupted by Tsunade. Okay sensei, I will leave you at your work. With that she stormed out. At the gates of Konoha, Shizune was waiting for her master with supplies that she told about, and suddenly Tsunade arrived using Shunshin no Jutsu. Shizune, we will not leave this place yet. Tsunade-sama, but what happened? Tsunade smiled at her young apprentice and raised her arms and said, this happened, showing a red white-haired baby in her arms. Scene change, at Senju compound. And that's what happened. Tsunade explained all things to her young apprentice. Shizune smiled at her master. She knew how important Naruto was to her master because he was not only her relative but also the last Uzumaki. Really, she never saw her master this happy before. She was happy for her master because Tsunade had found a reason in her life to live. I'm happy for you, Tsunade-sama, and at myself as well, because not only you found your son but I also got a baby brother. Tsunade smiled and handed baby Naruto to Shizune. First, Shizune was hesitant and afraid of dropping her new brother, but after some assurance from Tsunade, she lifted Naruto in her arms and thought how cute he was with those whisker marks. Red with white hair really did their job. Tsunade chuckled seeing her apprentice and said, I will go in my bedroom and try out my new jutsu. If it will be successful, I will come here and feed Naruto. After all, he hasn't drank anything after he was born. With that she left. Shizune got up and goes to garden that first Hokage made by himself with his jutsu. The Senju compound was very big. It was as big as Uchiha, but now every Senju was gone and only Tsunade was left, so the place was very big for only one family. That's why Tsunade modified it and made every necessary things inside the compound with hot spring, a very big garden and training ground. But as soon as Tsunade left Naruto started crying. He was also crying in the hands of Anbu and third Hokage, but not in the hand of Tsunade. No one knows the reason why he does that, but Tsunade knew, because as soon as she lifted Naruto in her arms it felt like his and Tsunade chakra connected to each other. When Tsunade asked Shizune about this, she told her that she doesn't experience this. After 20 minutes Tsunade came to the garden with a smile on her face. As soon as Naruto saw her, he stopped crying. Shizune was amazed at this, and then Tsunade said, the jutsu was successful. Shizune. Tsunade-sama, I don't think you should Naruto that much. He could get sick from overdrinking your milk, Shizune said with a worried face. I was also thinking about that, Shizune, but Naruto never left me for a minute except when he's sleeping. I mean, he drinks almost 16 hours a day, where a normal baby drinks 8 hours. Tsunade said while smiling. I think he likes urine milk, Tsunade-sama, Shizune said in a teasing manner. Tsunade retorted back saying, oh, really? Then I think he's no good from those men who lust after my just seeing them, but it's not the case, is it, Naru-chan? Tsunade said with a smiling playfully manner. Shizune, have you ever tasted chakra? Tsunade asked her apprentice, wondering. It's not possible, Tsunade-sama, nobody can test chakra, Shizune said with a straight face. Ah, but that's where you're wrong, Shizune. You can taste chakra but not raw chakra. First you have to mix them with right amount of liquid, not just any liquid, it should be from your body like milk, sweat, blood, anything, even cum, Tsunade said in a playfully manner. The main example of this is in female Uzumaki blood. If you drink it then your body will heal itself, but female Uzumaki doesn't need a jutsu to mix it, they're born with it. I knew it because of my research on Uzumaki blood. You see, when I started my career as a medical ninja there were almost no previous book to start with. Nobody has written a book on medical ninjutsu, so I started my research on various clan blood. While Uzumaki and Senju were most potent, Uchiha were less compared to Uzumaki and Senju, but they were potent nonetheless. Do you know, Shizune, what made Uzumaki different from Senju? No, Tsunade-sama, I don't know. Do you know it? Have you researched it? Shizune asked in a questioning manner. At this Tsunade chuckled and said, slow down, Shizune, I will answer our questions one by one. At this Shizune embarrassingly said, Hi Tsunade-sama. You see Shizune and Uzumaki's chakra have potency of Senju, but what makes it different that they are more dense and they have great sensing abilities, but a Senju have great and strong body, although Senju have equal chakra reserves but they have less dense chakra, so they have a great control over it, although both can sense chakra, but Uzumaki's have better sensing abilities than Senju. At this information Shizune was surprised. I didn't knew master that you have researched this far. Tsunade chuckled at this and said, well, let's go to bed for now, tomorrow you have to start working at hospital. You don't want to be late on our first day, do you? Hi Tsunade-sama. Like this they both left the garden and got to their bed. Next morning. I don't think you should work, Shizune, we already have enough money to survive 10 years without working. At this Shizune started walking towards Tsunade and said, Tsunade-sama, I'm not working for money, although it's a part of reason, but you see Naruto never leaves you and I'm quite bored here. That's why I have thought about working. This way we will also be informed about the villages, what is going on, and I can get more experience. At this Tsunade said, okay, you can work there, but don't forget to take break. Okay, said this and hugged her. You know Shizune, until now you were never away from my sight even for a minute, and when you are leaving only for work, even for a day, I realized that you are like my daughter. No, you are my daughter. Tsunade said with tears in her eyes. So call me Ka-chan from now on, okay Shizune. Hearing this Shizune was shocked, happy, excited. She was never this happy before. The day she met with her she was living on the streets and Tsunade helped her, feed her, trained her, even raised her like a mother. She never scolded her once, always smiling at her and taking care of her. Hi Oka-chan, she said with tears in her eyes. Time skip. Naruto at the 2 years of age. Naruto got up in the morning, before his mother, as he laid eyes on other side of bed his eyes met with a beautiful maiden, looks like she was in her mid-20s. Her blonde hair was scattered but still, she looks like she has come from the heaven itself, at least in the eyes of Naruto. Indeed it was his mother, he worshipped her like she was goddess Amaterasu herself. But his eyes were not on her face, instead his eyes were on her, where his favorite food came, slitted to his mother, embraced her in his arms, gave a kiss on her cheek. It was after all his daily routine. As long as he can remember he either got up in her arms or other side of the bed, but he hugs and kisses her every day on her cheek. Now he moved to her and lifted her t-shirt and started her nipples as he continued, his favorite food, his mother's milk came out of them. After 5 minutes Tsunade came out of her sleep and started getting up. As she lays eyes on her arms she smiled and hugs her baby boy. Naru-chan, stop drinking my milk first thing in the morning. Naruto doesn't stop it and instead he said, while, but Ka-chan, I always drink this first in the morning, and you know I love you and milk, this is so tasty and I can't stop it. At this Tsunade smiled. She knew that her son loved her milk very much, but she was also worried that he doesn't get addicted to her milk because eventually he would have to stop as he grows up. She stopped thinking when suddenly he bit at her nipples and she screamed, ah. At this Naruto stopped and looked at her, worried that he might have done something bad to his mother. He saw tears of his mother first time, and said, I'm sorry Ka-chan, forgive me, I won't bite you next time, please mom, forgive me. As he said this and embraced her tightly and started crying, saying that he is bad, very bad, for biting his mother. Tsunade saw this and smiled. She knew that her son loved her very dearly, and if someone hurt her he would definitely kill that person, and now when that person was himself, he would hate himself very for doing this to his mother. Hey Naru-kun, don't think this was your doing, this was don't blame yourself. But, sobbing mother, I did this, sobbing to you. Shish. I told you, didn't I? Don't blame yourself, beside I can heal this in a second, look, as she healed her with her glowing green hand. Naruto watched carefully and said, wow mom, are awesome, totally awesome, how did you do this? She chuckled at the antics of her son. One moment he was sad and depressed and next he was happy and excited. And then, she told him, Naru-chan, listen carefully, what I did here was medical ninjutsu, it can heal wounds instantly. Listening to his mom he shouted, wow mom, medical ninjutsu are best, if you are a medical ninja then I would also become the greatest medical ninja. At this Tsunade smiled and said, "Well Naru-kun, if you want to become best and surpass everyone then you will have to surpass me, because I'm the greatest medical ninja in the entire elemental nation, no one has even came close to me in medical ninjutsu." Tsunade said with pride in her voice, but as she looked at her son, he was suddenly sad and she was confused as to why her son was suddenly sad and then what he said shocked her. "Mom, if it means to surpass you in medical ninjutsu then I will not become best medical ninja." As he said that she smiled at her son and said, "Naru-kun, do you know what will make me happy?" She asked her son and saw a confused look on her son. "When you surpass me, I will become the happiest person in the world because you know Naruto, when any child surpasses their parents or his teacher then they become truly happy." "No. No mom, as I said before, when I grow up we will become equal. Not more not less. Mom, I've said before that when any of us will become stronger then we will teach each other because what's mine is yours, and what's yours is mine." She was stunned at her son's reaction then smiled thinking that he truly loves her. "Hi. As you say so Soichi-kun, now let's go downstairs or Shizune will come here and scold us." They giggled and left the bed with Naruto still in Tsunade's arms. "Ohio Naru-kun, Ka-chan," Shizune said with a warm smile. "Ohio Shizune ne-san," Naruto said with a smile. "Ohio Shizune," Tsunade also said with a smile. Then suddenly Shizune said something pouting her face. "Naru-chan, you never leaves mother's side, you never go to anyone, not even me, at least come to me once." Then Naruto said, "Huh. No way I'm leaving my beautiful mother for anyone, not even you." "Sorry Shizune. It's just that when I'm near mother, I feel connected to her and feel very protected by Ka-chan Dadbao." Hearing this Tsunade blushed heavily and asked, "NN. Naru-chan, do you think I'm beautiful?" "Of course. Ka-chan, that's what I said, didn't I? No one comes even closer to you. Especially with your blonde hair, you look like a goddess to me, Ka-chan." After hearing this, Tsunade was beet red and hiding her face in her palm thinking about what her son said. Suddenly Naruto touches her face and kissed her on cheek. "Ka-chan, are you okay? Do you have a fever? Your face looks very red." Naruto asked with a concerning voice and face, then he hugged her tightly saying she should go to hospital. Shizune was watching everything and then she said, "Naru-kun, don't you think that your Oni-chan is beautiful too?" Naruto looked at her and said, "You are Oni-chan, but not as much as mother." Shizune pouted at this answer and mumbled to herself, "Baka, Naru-kun doesn't compliment me." Then Shizune got up from her seat and said with a teasing manner, "Well, you guys flirt with each other, I have to go to hospital." "Shizune, what are you saying? We are mother and son." Shizune giggled and she left for hospital. Naruto asked curiously to his mother, "What's flirting means, Ka-chan?" "Nothing to you worry about, Naru-kun. Now Naru-kun, should we go to garden and study?" "Hi, Ka-chan, but you have to let me sit on her lap." "No way. You always sit on my lap but not today." "But Ka-chan, you are saying this from 2 days now. Ka-chan, I promise that when I grow up I will let you sit on my lap for payment." Tsunade blushed again heavily, imagining seating on the lap of her red-headed son. "Mom, your face is red again. Are you sure that you are okay?" asked Naruto with concerning voice. Scene change at Senju Compound Garden. We see that the red-haired boy is looking happy. He finally got on his favorite seat, his mother's lap, after 2 long days, although he sat on his mother's lap another time of the day, but he wanted to study seating on his mother's lap. "And that's how your great-grandfather, the first Hokage Hashirama Senju, won against Madara Uchiha," said Tsunade, pride in her voice. "Wow. Ka-chan, grandpa was greatest. He was so strong like you. Ka-chan, do you also have Mokuden, would release?" Tsunade, hearing this, become a little sad and hesitantly says, "No, my Soichi, I don't have wood release. Your grandpa was first and last." She never wanted to make him look down at her, he always praised her. Whenever she told him story about her missions, like how she was the most badass and coolest person in the world, she didn't want to look weak in front of her son. Naruto noticed his mother and he understood the feeling of his mother. Then he stood up from her lap and got close to her and kissed her cheek and hugged her tightly and said, "Don't worry, mother, you are still the coolest person to me. Even if Grandpa was strongest in his time, you're the strongest in your time, and besides, Grandpa had most powerful Kekkei Genkai, so it was not his power, it was his Kekkei Genkai. But Yuka-chan, even though you don't have any fancy powers, you worked hard for it. When there was no book on medical ninjutsu, you created for yourself with hard work and patience. That's why I respect you, Mom." And like that he parted from her. She smiled, and then he also smiled and sat on her lap like before. She was thinking at how he was smartest of his age when normal child starts understanding things he already knows it. And then Tsunade asked him, "Naru-chan, why do you always sit on my lap?" She knew there was a reason for it. Her son didn't do anything unnecessary. He smiled and said, "Ka-chan, when I'm near you or touching your body, I feel connected and complete. It's a great feeling, and besides, I already told you that when you are near me, I always feel at ease, protected and safe. That's why I always want to be with you, Ka-chan." Naruto said, looking at his mother. "In that case, Naru-chan, I'll always be with you, okay? And sorry for not letting you sit on my lap for 2 days. For making up to you, I will let you drink my milk for as long as you want." Hearing this, he got excited and started jumping around yelling, "Yay! Yay! I will have my Ka-chan milk." And then he got near her and started undoing her blouse. Seeing this, she smiled, though this was exactly her chakra mix milk, that's why it was so tasty, but it was worth it. It didn't only affect physically but mentally also. She didn't notice, but Tsunade was already on the grass and Naruto on top of her undoing her blouse buttons. When someone would walk in, they would absolutely think weird something out of this, but this was nothing new for her, because she knew that when it come to her milk, Naruto lost any senses. When she opened her eyes, she watched the clouds. Naruto was already on top of her and one while playing with other. It was his favorite thing to do while drinking her milk, after all. Seeing this, Tsunade smiled and asked, "Soichi-kun, do you enjoy playing with my while?" Hearing this, Naruto smiled and said, "Yes, Mom, very much. They are my favorite part of your body. They are so soft and fluffy. That's why I sleep on them daily and not on pillow." Tsunade was happy and worried at the same time. She didn't know how he would react when she said that he couldn't drink milk from her. Her thoughts were interrupted by Naruto. "Mom, you know, I noticed this. When I drink your milk, I feel some power welling up inside me." Hearing this, Tsunade was shocked. She knew that his chakra and her chakra can connect but didn't know this. "Naru-kun, what do you mean by that?" "As I said, Ka-chan, when I drink your milk I could feel your emotions, although I can feel it every time I'm near you, but while drinking I could become you. Like what you feel, what you are thinking, everything I know. It's a very warm feeling, that's why I like drinking your milk. Oh, and I also feel very powerful." Tsunade was shocked and surprised. She didn't know the explanation of this. She was not even his biological mother, so how in the world this is happening? Even real mom and son can't feel emotions and read thoughts to each. Now she also noticed that whenever Naruto drank her milk she felt very excited and happy. It means she can also feel his emotions. For the first time in her life, she didn't know any explanation of what is happening. Naruto feeling her emotions, he left her, kissed her cheek and hugged her and said in her ears, "Ka-chan, don't worry about it. It makes me happy to know that I'm connected to you, Ka-chan, the most powerful and beautiful woman in the world." Hearing this, Tsunade smiled and thought, how he knew her very deeply and always cheered her up whenever she was dealing with anything. She broke the hug and kisses his cheek and said, "Naru-kun, I'm also happy that we are connected and could feel each other. I'm glad that it's you, Naru-kun, who loves me unconditionally and can do anything for me." She kissed him again on his cheeks, eyes, nose and everywhere. "Now, Naru-kun, as we planned, we will finish your basic education in 1 year and then move on to ninja books next year." He nodded happily and sat on her lap again and started study. Time skip Naruto at the age of 4. In the hot spring of Senju compound we can see that someone is whining. "Ka-chan, I told you that I don't like food, I only like your milk. Please let me drink it." the red-headed boy said whining. No Naru-kun, I have said this before, you will only drink my milk 3 times a day, not more, and you have to eat food also, Tsunade said strictly. Shizune was seeing this, smiling and said, anyway Okawa-chan, have you come up with something about your and Naruto-kun changing hair color? Shizune asked worryingly and curiously. No Shizune, I don't know about this yet, as to why my almost half hair has become white and at the tip red, and as to why Naru-kun's some hair is becoming blonde. But Ka-chan, isn't it awesome that I now have your beautiful hair and you have mine, although my hair is not beautiful like yours, but we now look mother and son more, Naruto said happily and excitedly. Naru-kun, what are you talking about? Your red and white hair are as beautiful as rainbow. You are the most handsome boy on this planet. Never say that again. And yes Naru-kun, I'm happy that we are looking like a real mother-son, but scared at the same time that, what if something bad is happening? Tsunade said, worrying, although she had some theory about this, but they were all irrelevant. But what most worried her was that she had more white hair than Naruto. Naruto was blushing from his mother's compliment, but sensing her emotions, Naruto went there and hugged her mother and kissed her on the lips. What was that, Naru-kun? Why did you kiss me on the lips? You always kiss my cheek, Tsunade asked with a blank face. I don't know, Ka-chan, it felt the right thing to do, so I did it to make you happy. Are you upset with me, Ka-chan? Tsunade smiled and said, no Soichi-kun, why would I be upset with you? When you are trying to cheer me up, but you know Soichi-kun, when you love a girl unconditionally and can do anything for that girl, then you should kiss her on the lips. Like your lover or girlfriend. Naruto instantly replied, but mom, you met with all these conditions. I love you unconditionally, so you're my lover, and you are also like a friend to me. You are a girl, so you automatically became my girlfriend. It shouldn't be a problem. Tsunade deadpanned at his explanation. In his sense he was right, and she knew that he will never admit that he will love some stranger girl more than herself. Naru-kun, you know, when you will meet some girl of your age and love her, then you should kiss her, not your mother, she said, hoping that he will believe her. Okay Ka-chan, but until then I can kiss you anywhere, right? And then you will become happy. He knows that he will never find someone kind, beautiful, and who will love him more than his mother. Hi, Tsunade said, smiling. She knew that she will not get more from this from her son. Now Naru-kun, as I said to you that after you finished your ninja book, we will begin your training on becoming ninja. You have completed your basic education and basic ninja book, so from today we will start your training, okay? Hearing this, Naruto felt very excited, hugged his mother and kissed her on the lips. She also returned the kiss, smiling. Yay! Ka-chan, you are the best mother in the world. Now I can become like you, Ka-chan, and protect you like you protected me. She smiled at her excited son. She knew that he was waiting for this day from a very long time. Scene change at Senju Training Compound. The training compound looked very big. It had every sorts of training gear, from chakra weights to every weapon, but what most amazing thing was that it had an invisible, impenetrable barrier. This barrier was made by Mito Uzumaki herself. This barrier even survived from Baiju Dama without a single scratch during Nine Tails' attack. You look surprised, Naru-kun. I've already told you that Senju compound cannot be destroyed by anyone. This is as strong as the Uzumaki compound. Yes, Ka-chan, Fuinjutsu is very fascinating. When I finish my medical training we will move on to Fuinjutsu. But I don't know anything about Fuinjutsu, Naru-kun. You will have to ask Jiraiya about this. Tsunade said with a disappointing face. That's why I said. We, Ka-chan, not. I already told you, Ka-chan, that we will become equal. Tsunade smiled at this and said, only you can lighten my mood this instantly, Naru-kun. You are truly my son. Now on to the training. We will begin this by first unlocking your chakra. You wouldn't have to do this when you had started your training later, but you are starting your training much earlier, that's why. First you have to unlock it. She told him to do meditation, until he can feel his chakra, and when he can feel it, he should exert his chakra as much as he can. He did meditation for almost 10 minutes and nothing happened, and after some time he started to feel something in his body very warm. And then he started to release his chakra. Outside world. Tsunade started to feel anxious when suddenly Naruto started releasing his chakra. Then she felt like he told her 1 year ago. She could feel his emotions and read his mind. Then she thought, how is this possible? I told you already, Ka-chan, that we are connected to each other more than we think. What? How is this possible? It's like we are communicating through our mind. Mom, don't you feel complete? Yes, Soichi, but how did we not feel anything before? Mom, I think when I unlocked my chakra, then we started feeling this. It's like we have become complete, Mom, like we have become one. Naruto opened his eyes as he saw his mother. He looked shocked. Then he saw her face and she also was shocked. They both said something at the same time. Your hair. What? Naruto asked. Soichi, your hair color is in synchronization like the right amount of 3 colors. Your red and white hair is now overlapping and at the end of every strand there is blonde. Yours too, Ka-chan. You have the same amount of red, white and blonde hair. Your red and blonde hair is overlapping and from your neck there is white hair. They both went into their room and looked in the mirror. You have become more hot and beautiful, Ka-chan, he said smiling. After 30 minutes. Okay, Naru-kun, we will discuss this later. Right now we will begin your training. So, for warm-up you will run around the training ground for 1 hour straight and then you will do pull-ups and push-ups. Then we will move to chakra control, because if you want to become a medical ninja then you will have to have perfect chakra control. Since, Yoru and Uzumaki, you should have difficulty in controlling the chakra, but I'm not sure about you. What do you mean, Mom? What I mean is, I'm not too sure about this, but I think our hair is changing its color because our chakra is mixing. Since your chakra is mixing with Senju, then you should have perfect chakra control, she explained unsurely. We will soon see about that, Mom. After 2 hours. Okay, Soichi-kun, now that you have finished your warm-up, we will move on to the chakra control. First exercise is leaf sticking to your body. She showed him how to do this and he started doing this. After 30 minutes, he said smiling, Mom, I think I have your chakra. She smiled at this. She was expecting it, so she was not surprised. Now my Naru-kun, if you've completed this exercise in 30 minutes then you definitely have my chakra. At this rate you will complete all your chakra control exercises in 1.5 months. In 1 year, you will complete your chakra enhanced punches and you will become medic as good as Shizune. In terms of medical skills you will become as good as me in 5 years and you will get this Byakugo seal in 9 years. Tsunade said smiling and excitedly. But Mom, you said this seal took you 15 years, how come I will have this in only 9 years? Naruto asked confused. You see, Naru-kun, this seal didn't exist before me, so that's why it took me that much time to get it, but you already have me to teach you so you will not waste time like I did while researching. When you create something, you waste a lot of time by doing it wrong, but when you learn something that has already been created, you don't repeat the mistakes. Tsunade explained, smiling at her curious genius son. Okay, Mom, let's start my training, Naruto said excitedly. Night at 3 a.m. Naruto and Tsunade were sleeping peacefully. Suddenly Naruto screamed and got up. At this Tsunade got scared and looked at her son worryingly. Soichi, what happened? Had a nightmare. At this Naruto started crying. He never cried in her presence, so she got scared and kissed him on the lips and then embraced him in a hug. And said, what did you see in the nightmare, my Soichi? Ka-chan, I saw you left me and said that you hated me. Hearing this, Tsunade kissed him on the lips again for a minute. She knew why he felt that today she had told him the truth. Flashback. When he got tired he came to his mother and said, Ka-chan, I'm tired, can I drink your milk? It's almost time to drink. Hearing this, Tsunade smiled and nodded. He came, laid down on her lap and undid her blouse and started one while playing with the other. Seeing this she smiled and said, Naru-kun, you know that I love you, right? He nodded, and then she said, Naru-kun, do you remember when you went outside the compound with Shizune and everyone was staring at you with hatefully? He nodded again and then she said, well, Naru-kun, they do it for a reason, and I have kept some secrets from you. Hearing this he stopped, did her blouse and sat on her lap. She wrapped her arm around him. What secret, Mom? Naruto asked curiously with his innocent eyes. Hearing his innocent voice, she became a little sad and unsure that she should tell him yet or not, but decide that she should tell him as soon as possible because if he hears this from anyone other than her, then he will not trust her. Imagining leaving Naruto her, she became heartbroken. Sensing the emotions of his mother, he got up and kissed her on the lips and said, Mom, tell me, I will not be mad at you for not telling me. She saw him, then told him about his parents, Nine Tails, and what happened in the council. Hearing the truth, he was shocked and surprised. Many emotions were flowing in him. Sensing this, she embraced him. Now it was her time to comforting her son, so she kissed him on the lips and hugged him almost for 5 minutes. Flashback end. Soichi-kun, tell me in detail about your nightmare, she asked him worryingly. Ka-chan, I saw that you told me that you are not my son, you are the Nine Tails, and left me saying that you hated me. It was the most scary thing, Ka-chan. Never leave me, he said with his teary eyes. At this, Tsunade kissed him again on lips for about a minute and then told him to drink her milk. He nodded and started while playing with her. She started ruffling his hair and said, Soichi-kun, as I told you this afternoon, that no matter what happens I will never stop loving you. Even if you stopped loving me, and know this again, Soichi-kun, that no matter who tells you that you are the Nine Tails, you will not believe them. Okay, promise me this. Hearing this, he moved to her face from her and kissed her and said, I just promised you, mother, through my kiss, and you know that I never break promises. She smiled and kissed him, and he also kisses her and wrapped his arm around her. After 5 minutes of kissing, they both stopped and smiled at each other. He moved to her and said, Ka-chan, I'm going to sleep. He buried his face between her. She smiled seeing this. She knew that he loved sleeping on her, wrapped her arms around him, and also went to sleep. Next morning, Shizune wondered as to why her mother and brother were late. They were never late before, so she went to their room. From what she saw didn't surprise her a bit. They were sleeping in each other's arms. Naruto's head was on Tsunade's and her arms were wrapped around Naruto protectively, like she didn't want to let go of Naruto. Rise and shine, love birds, it's morning already. Hearing Shizune's voice, Tsunade opened her eyes lazily as she brought her senses. She immediately checked on Naruto. As she saw him, she sighed in relief. She smiled and wrapped her arms once more. How many times have I told you, Shizune? Don't call us that. If someone hears you, they will definitely think something wrong. But Ka-chan, Shizune is right. We're lovers as well. I mean, I love you, right? And Shizune is my lover as well, because I love her also, but of not as much as you, Ka-chan. Naruto said in an innocent voice. Naru, you were awake all this time? Tsunade asked surprisingly. Before Naruto could say anything, Shizune cut him off and said, You didn't need to say that, little brother. I know that you love Ka-chan most in the world, and do you know what lover? Tsunade cut her off and said, Shizune, we will not discuss this. He will not understand yet, so stop. By the way, Naru-chan, did you sleep well? Are you all right now? Did I miss something? Shizune asked. Yes, Shizune, our Naru-chan had a very bad nightmare last night. Shizune moved closer to Naruto, who was still in the arms of Tsunade. She hugged him and asked, What was the nightmare, Oka-chan? Naru-chan saw that I hated and left him for the Nine Tails. Of course it was a nightmare for Naru-kun if he saw this. She said with a worried voice as she broke the hug. Naruto looked up and kissed Tsunade on the lips and said, I promised you on the lips, right, Ka-chan? So I'm fine. After all, I can't broke promises to my beautiful mother, can I? As he hugged her and snuggled between her. Tsunade blushed a little as he called her beautiful and asked, Naru-kun, do you still think that I'm beautiful, even after my hair color changed? Of course, mother. What kind of question is that? I already told you that you are a goddess, mother. You look even more beautiful in your tricolor hair. Ka-chan, you are not just beautiful because of your looks, but you are beautiful from inside too. That's why I said that you are beautiful. Tsunade heavily blushed at this as her son called her goddess. You can flirt later with Oka-chan, brother. Right now we have to go outside as we decided, Shizune said teasingly and left. What's flirting, Ka-chan? Naruto asked curiously. No need to know you, my Soichi, Tsunade said smiling, as she stood up with Naruto still in her arms. Scene change outside the Senju compound. Now Naru-kun, don't kiss me on the lips outside the house, okay? And don't feel scared when everyone stares at you with hate, okay? But why, Ka-chan? Don't argue with me, Naru. If you follow this, then I will let you drink my milk as much as you want. Hearing this, he shouted instantly, I will not kiss you on the lips, Ka-chan, while in public. He knew that this is a one chance and he can't pass it because he loved his mother's milk more than anything. Shizune sighed hearing this and said, guys, this day will not wait for us, so we should better get going. Scene change asterisk, at the streets of Konoha. Everyone was staring at Naruto, who was in the middle of his mother and his sister Shizune. His one hand was held by Tsunade and other by Shizune. As he walked further in the crowd, everyone started murmuring about why Demon Brat is with Tsunade-sama, how he killed everyone and how he should just die. He gripped his hand tighter on Tsunade's hand and ignored everyone. As they walked further, they saw a trio of black-headed people. A teenage boy with black hair, onyx eyes, wearing black anbu pants with gray-colored robe and shinobi sandal. His arms were interlocked with a beautiful raven-haired woman who was clinging to him and he was smiling. The woman looked like she was in her own world, constantly looking at the boy. She looked older than Tsunade. She wore a green kimono. Lastly, there was a boy of Naruto's age, but he was shorter than him and he was holding the other hands of the teenage boy. As they came closer, woman stared at Naruto and came closer and said, so this is Kushina's boy. Naruto instantly replied, I'm Ka-chan's boy, not Kushina's. She is here and her name is Tsunade Senju and she is the most powerful person in the world. Kushina Uzumaki only gave birth to me. Hearing this, the woman got surprised at the boy that he knew his real mother. Her thoughts were interrupted by the boy. By the way, I'm Naruto Uzumaki, son of Tsunade Senju, the most powerful woman in the world, and I will become as strong as Ka-chan, so you better believe it, Dadbayo. The woman was surprised at his words and thought this is definitely Kushina's boy. Hello Naruto-kun, my name is Uchiha Makoto and this is my sons, Uchiha Itachi and Uchiha Sasuke. Itachi was watching curiously. He had only heard that Tsunade had adopted the Kyuubi brat but didn't know him. He was surprised at the antics of three-colored hair boy. Hello there Naruto-kun, my name is Itachi Uchiha, nice to meet you. Same here, Itachi-san. Naruto said smiling, and then he goes to the little one. Pleasure to meet you Sasuke-san, Naruto said smiling. HN, said Sasuke. Well, looks like you are very shy around people, aren't you Sasuke-san? I'm not shy, okay, Sasuke retorted back. That's better, Naruto said innocently. Makoto was carefully watching Naruto. She was surprised that he made Sasuke talk. He never talks with anyone except Itachi. She smiled and said, perhaps you can be his first friend, Naruto-kun. He never talked to anyone before you. Makoto said with hopes in her voice. It depends entirely on Sasuke-san here, Makoto-san. If he wants to become friends with me, I have no problem. Huh, who wants to be friend with a loser? I'm better than him, stronger than him. I'm an Uchiha and he is a commoner. Sasuke said smirking. He thought that he will become angry and challenge him in a fight, but what Naruto said surprised everyone. Really? You are stronger than me? Naruto asked curiously. That's what I said, didn't I? Or are you deaf? Sasuke was now enjoying this. Then I better keep training, until I surpass you. After all, I'm chasing my mom here, so I better work hard. He looked at Tsunade and she just dumbly nodded, thinking what was going on. Everyone was also thinking the same thing. Then Itachi scolded Sasuke. What did I say to you Sasuke about being respectful towards others? He was so nice to you and you just insulted him. Itachi said with annoyance and anger in his voice. It was the influence of his father. He also seemed to think that every Uchiha is god and other than Uchiha were insect. And you Naruto-kun, why did you accept that he's better than you? Itachi asked curiously as to why he accepted it instantly because he knew that Tsunade-sama would surely have started training. What are you talking about, Itachi-kun? He is from Madara's clan, isn't he? My mom told me how he fought Hashirama Jiji. If he's an Uchiha, then surely he had started training and he would be a prodigy. What I've learned through history books is that almost 60% of Uchiha are born with better talent and mind than their peers, they are called prodigy. If Sasuke-san claims here that he's better than me, then he must be a born prodigy like most Uchiha. And also I am just on the water walking exercise. I bet Sasuke would be on the waterfall training. Naruto said, smiling. Itachi was stunned at his explanation. He thought his deduction skills is better than mine and he already completed the tree walking. Nobody has ever done that and he knows history full well. While Makoto was watching surprisingly as to how he was born prodigy in a century. While Sasuke was angry as to not only his brother scolded. This loser was very calm also. He thought, how is he so calm? Tsunade and Shizune were smiling, thinking not only Naruto was well-mannered and humble, he was also calm-minded, that most Uzumaki was not. They were hot-headed, emotions easily overcame them. Ah, Tsunade-sama, I didn't think before that Naruto would be this well-mannered. He is definitely opposite of Kushina in manners. This must be your influence. Makoto said, smiling. Yes, Tsunade-sama, he is very humble also. I think I like him. Itachi said, smiling. As Itachi said this, Sasuke gritted his teeth in anger as to why his brother was appreciating this loser. Yes, Itachi-kun, Makoto, Naruto here is very sweet, that's why we love him. And his one quality that I love most is that he never lies. Hearing his mother, Naruto was blushing. He definitely wanted the attention of this beautiful woman. Ah, Naru, you are blushing. Shizune said teasingly. Naruto hides his face in his mother's kimono. Seeing this, Tsunade lift him in her arms and hug him. She whispered to Naruto, Naru-kun, why are you blushing? I just told the truth, just like every time you told me that I'm beautiful. Anyway, where are you going, Makoto? Tsunade asked. We're going to Ichiraku, Tsunade-sama. Makoto said, clinging to her son Itachi. Oh, we are also going there, Makoto-san. Let's go together there, Shizune said, smiling. Scene change at Ichiraku. As Ichiraku came from inside and he immediately recognized them but didn't recognize the three hair-colored boy. Ah, hello Tsunade-sama, Makoto-sama, Itachi-san, Shizune-san, Sasuke-kun, and who might be this young guy? Ichiraku asked, smiling. His eyes seemed close to everyone. My name is Naruto Uzumaki, son of the most powerful woman Tsunade Senju. Naruto introduced himself, smiling. All the Uchihas thought that this boy seemed like a fan of his mother. Nice to meet you, Naruto-kun, Ichiraku said with same expression. Everyone sat on their seats and Naruto sits on his favorite seat, his mother's lap. Itachi and Makoto thought that maybe he has a mother complexion. Everyone ordered their ramen and Naruto said that his mother will feed him. Itachi and Makoto thought this confirms it, he definitely has a mother complexion. As they ate their ramen, Tuki asked. So Naruto-kun, did you like it? Yes, Ichiraku-san, very much. In fact, this is my second favorite food. Naruto said while eating. What might be your favorite food, Naruto-kun? Makoto asked curiously and everyone agreed as they were curious. Oh, easy, my favorite food is my mother's. Mi. As he was about to say, Tsunade put her hand on his mouth and whispered to his ear. Naru-kun, I didn't said this before, because I never thought about it, but if you will say what you were about to say, then I will not let you drink my milk for a whole week. Naruto gulped his saliva and simply nodded, scared that he might not get his favorite food. Tsunade sensed Naruto's emotions and hugged him and whispered in his ear, I didn't mean to scare you. I was simply telling you that you should not tell them about your favorite food. She kissed his cheek and brought him even closer. Everyone saw Tsunade's actions and thought that they were definitely more close than they should be. Makoto, thinking about this, started blushing because she was also very close to Itachi. Seeing the awkwardness, Itachi broke the ice and said, So Naruto-kun, when you started training? Naruto looked at Itachi and said, I started my basic education at the age of 2 and finished at 3, then finished every basic ninja book at the age of 4 and started chakra control exercises yesterday. Naruto replied patiently. Makoto and Itachi were stunned at this. They had never heard before of anyone who started reading at the age of 2 and completed 2 chakra exercises in one day. Itachi's thoughts were interrupted as Naruto was behind him and suddenly he asked, Itachi-san, when did you awaken your Sharingan? Itachi was surprised that he knew about Sharingan. At the age of 6, Naruto-kun, why, you asked. Then I was right, you are definitely a prodigy because as you walked and talked you seem very experienced. And have you unlocked the Mangekyou Sharingan yet? Now Itachi was definitely very surprised because in less than 30 minutes he not only read him like a book but also knew about the Mangekyou Sharingan, which even most Uchiha didn't know. Naruto-kun, how did you know about the Mangekyou Sharingan? And to answer your question, no, I haven't unlocked it yet. Why are you asking these questions? Itachi asked curiously as to how he knew. You see, Itachi-san, I have read every personal journal that was written by Hashirama Jiji and Tobarama Jiji himself. In one of his journals, Hashirama Jiji explained the battle between him and Madara in detail. That's how I know about Mangekyou Sharingan. As to answer your second question, I was asking because I came up with a theory to unlock Mangekyou Sharingan without losing someone. Itachi hearing this was very stunned at the boy because he didn't only know the history perfectly but also came up with a theory about Mangekyou Sharingan, which even most Uchiha didn't come to, and then he asked hope in his voice. Can you tell me the theory, Naruto-kun? Well, Itachi-san, for that you have to come to the Senju compound but with a person who you trust the most and can cast very powerful genjutsu. Okay, Naruto-kun, I will come there tomorrow morning with my friend Shisui, and he is also a prodigy like me and unlocked the Mangekyou Sharingan. He is the most powerful member of our clan, even more powerful than my father. His genjutsu is unbreakable. Itachi said with a hope in his voice because he also wanted to unlock the Mangekyou Sharingan, but whenever he asked Shisui about this he either changed the subject or came up with an excuse. Everyone was stunned at this except Tsunade because he had told her one night while drinking her milk about this and how he wanted to test this theory, and then she said that he will only test this on the people he trusts. Makoto was thinking that Naruto's IQ is definitely of Nara, and Sasuke was angry as to how not only he knew the Uchiha and their Sharingan more than Sasuke but add to the salt in his wound, his brother was praising him and showed his interest more than himself after just meeting one time. We will be leaving now, Tsunade-sama. Naruto-kun, Shizune-san, please excuse us. They nodded. Itachi took his mother's hand and Sasuke came to Itachi and took his other hand and they left. As they left, Tsunade lifted her son and sat on her lap and asked, Are you sure about this, Naruto-kun? Do you trust him after all? You just met him. Tsunade asked his son. Yes, Ka-chan, I trust him because he not only was not arrogant like most Uchiha but also very powerful yet humble. These are the signs of good people, mother. As I observed you, you are the most humble, kind and beautiful person I have met. Besides, he respects and loves his mother more than anyone, unlike his brother who was arrogant and didn't respect his mother at all. Those who don't respect their mother are not a good person in my opinion. So, I came to this conclusion. Tsunade was not surprised at all. It was the things that only her son would do. She smiled at her son and kissed him on the cheek and said, Looks like you are growing very fast, my Soichi. I just fear that when you grow up you will leave me like everyone else. Tsunade said worryingly. Naruto hugged her tightly and whispers smoothly, How many times I have to say this, mother? I will not leave you ever, even when you start hating me at some point in my life. I will always love you and cherish you, like you deserve. How can I leave my goddess? Naruto was also ruffling her hair while whispering. Now I want to kiss you on the lips, Naru-chan. Tsunade said honestly while smiling. It was the thing that only her son could tell her, calm her at any time, cheered her up anywhere no matter how worried she was. Then we should get going, mother. I also want to kiss you, and besides it's my milk time. Naruto said while hugging her. Scene change. at Tsunade's bedroom. They both laid down on the bed and looked at each other for a while. Then Naruto got on top of her and started kissing her on the lips. As he kissed her for 2 minutes, he started undoing her blouse. While he was finished undoing her blouse, he parted his lips from her, then saw her beautiful face and kissed her again. After a while, as he kissed, he squeezed her and then moved onto them. He lifted his leg from bed and put on her waist, and then he hugged her and started at one, and playing with others. As he Tsunade thought he definitely grew up because his teeth were now it, not his lips. As he her hard, suddenly a moan came out of her mouth and she covered her mouth instantly. Scene change. At Fugaku's house in Uchiha compound. At night time, everyone except Itachi was already in their room on their bed. He didn't help but wonder as to how Naruto was this smart, because Uzumaki was never known for their brain as they were creative. That's why Fuinjutsu were their forte but not smart. After just seeing Naruto, he didn't have any doubt in his mind that whatever this theory was, it was definitely trusted by Naruto, because he didn't seem like a person who would say things with baseless facts. And what did he mean by bringing someone who can cast powerful genjutsu? Itachi couldn't understand anything. This is only confusing me. Maybe I should discuss it with my mother, she might have an idea. He goes to the Makoto room and knocks. Mother, are you awake? As he said that, the gate opened instantly and Makoto came. Yes, Itachi. What's the matter? Are you having sleeping problems? Come, we will sleep together today. Before he could reply, Makoto dragged him to the bed and laid him down and hugged him from behind as her arms came around his stomach, and she asked quietly and lovingly. What's the matter, Soichi? Is something bothering you? As she said this, Itachi didn't help but think as to why his mother was sleeping alone. Flashback 1 year ago. Makoto was coming down from her room yawning. She didn't help but yawn. After all, it was 3 in the morning. She got up this early because today Itachi was going on a mission for almost a week and she had to prepare his food for his journey. But then she heard Fugaku and elders talking in the drawing room. Fugaku, this is definitely a good plan. We will kidnap the Hyuga Hiyashi's wife and force him to marry off his daughter to your youngest son for his wife. This way our clan will definitely gain Byakugan. After he will sign the papers, we will make his daughter breeding cow. Makoto hears everything. She got worried for her friend and her daughter because she knew that elders will do anything to gain Byakugan. They were trying it for years and now they had a perfect plan. But she didn't help but think about Fugaku, who was at the meeting. When she married him, he seemed like a sweet guy, but was it all fake and why? She instantly goes to her room and starts thinking about how to say this to her friend. She was at the Hyuga compound gate and told the guards that she will like an audience with clan head Hiyashi Hyuga and Hitomi Hyuga. The guard came inside and after 2 minutes he came and said, Hiyashi-sama, Hitomi-sama will meet her in their room. As she went to the clan head's house, she wondered why her friend called her in their room. She arrived at the door and knocked 3 times. Come in, Makoto, Hitomi said from inside. She opened the door and got quite surprised at the scene because Hiyashi and Hitomi both were in their beds. Then Hitomi said, What happened, Makoto? Why are you here this early in the morning at my house? Wait, don't tell me that Fugaku couldn't satisfy you, so you came to my husband. Although I don't have very much problems, I would also like to join. Hitomi jokingly said, although she knew that this was not the reason. After all, she never came to Hyuga compound after her marriage. After all, they were rival clans of Konoha. She knew that if her friend came this early in the morning, then something was serious. But she couldn't help but start pulling her legs. After all, when they were in team with Kushina, they teased her almost every day. Those were the happy days, she thought, and somewhat felt guilty that she didn't even went to meet her dead friend's son even once. Stop joking around, Hitomi. I came here with a very serious matter, Makoto said seriously. Yes, Makoto-san, we know that if you came this early in the morning, then something was definitely serious, but would you like some tea? Clan head said with a calm expression. No, Hiyashi-san, I don't have much time, so I will tell you immediately. She told them everything. They were shocked hearing this. Sure, their clan wanted each other dojutsu, but this was extreme. Thank you, Makoto-san, for this information. You have indebted us, we will never forget about this. You didn't just saved Byakugan but also saved my wife and daughter's life. This clan will remain forever in your debt. If you need anything and is within my power, I will give it to you. Hiyashi said sincerely. Yes, Makoto, you have saved my daughter's life today, I will forever in your debt. She said smiling. Hitomi, I just did the right thing, and besides, what's a friend for? If you genuinely want to do something for me, then please stop teasing me, whenever you see me. She said laughing. Anything but that, Makoto, you have asked an impossible task from me, it's not in my power. She also said laughing. They stopped laughing and Makoto said, I think the attack will happen tonight. And why do you think that, Makoto-san? Hiyashi asked her. You see, Hiyashi-san, today my older son and his friend named Shisui are going on a mission for a week. This is a perfect opportunity for elders in Fugaku, because if my son and his friend would be here, they would have never let this happen. Truly, he is such a sweet boy. Makoto said smiling. If you say so, Makoto-san, we will be prepared. With that, Makoto leaves the Hyuga compound. At night in the Hyuga compound. In the dark, we can see 5 pairs of glowing Sharingan with 3 tomos in each pair. They walk forward quietly in the Hyuga compound. Eventually they reach their destination in the Hitomi's room. We will all go through the window. Our ally has leave the window open. They come through the window. When they were about chop the neck of their target, suddenly from behind they hear 8 diagrams 128 palm. And just like that, 3 of them fell on the ground unconscious. 2 of the intruders escaped via Sunshine. Scene change at the Uchiha compound. The elders in Fugaku were waiting eagerly for the good news. Suddenly 2 people appeared panting heavily and said, Fugaku-sama, we were ambushed. They knew of our plan. But how is this possible? Nobody knew except for us. Then how? Fugaku eyed the Hyuga who were sitting next to him with a newly caged bird seal mark on his forehead. I didn't do it, Fugaku-sama. How can you doubt me after all? I'm the one who came to you with this plan because I wanted revenge on the main branch family after what they did to me. But I know who is the traitor here. Hyuga said, frustrated that his plan failed. Who is the traitor here? Tell us, Hyuga. One of the elders said in demanding tone. Wife of Fugaku-sama. Hyuga said smiling. What nonsense are you spouting, Hyuga? She didn't even knew of this plan. Fugaku said angrily. I don't know how she came to know this, but today in the early morning I saw Makoto-sama in Hyuga compound. I don't have any proof that she did knew of the plan, but before today she never came to Hyuga compound, and that's 2 in the morning. That can't be a coincidence, right? Hyuga said in a venomous voice. Fugaku instantly left the place and went his home. At Fugaku's house, Makoto was waiting for the Fugaku at home. Then suddenly the gate opened and Fugaku came from the main door, his head down. His eyes were covered by his hair, and then said, Tell me, Makoto, did you inform them about our plan? He asked with an emotionless voice. That's right, Fugaku, I informed Hitomi about this. In the morning, I heard you and elders talking about this. I couldn't let that happen to my friend. But one thing I don't understand is why did you follow this plan? I thought you were better than happened to the kind man whom I married. She asked sadly, but what next he said was she never expected. You bitch. How dare you to ruin my plan? I had all planned it out, but no, you had to ruin it. If this plan was followed, then our clan would have become the strongest in whole Konoha, and we would have easily taken the Konoha in our hand. Then everyone would have followed the Uchiha like they should have been until now. Fugaku said, glaring with his 3 tomo Sharingan. And then he attacked Makoto with his glowing Sharingan, and she sent flying on the wall. She hit the wall and wall were cracked. Her spines and shoulder were broken. Fugaku came to her and said, You ask me what happened to the kind man you were married to. Well, know this, that there was never a kind man. I was only pretending. I wanted to become clan head and return the glory of the Uchiha. You were the perfect woman to achieve this dream because you were the clan's head daughter. I acted like you wanted, and eventually I got what I wanted. Then I thought I wanted an heir, but you ruined it too because Itachi became like you, this village dog, not the clan's. But I thought that if one of my son has become incompetent, then I will have the other one follow me, and he did. But you ruined it all in one night. You never thought about what you are doing. I have enough of you. I will end this now. You are no use of me in this clans. You will only drag down this clan name. When he was about to finish her with a final blow, suddenly someone grabbed his hand and said, "Enough, father, if you even take one step, I will not only kill you but torture you to death." Itachi, how are you here? You were supposed to go on a mission. Fugaku said, confused. Itachi didn't reply and moved forward, lifting Makoto in bridal style, and went to his room. She was unconscious at this point. Next morning, Makoto woke up but she was not in her room. Suddenly she panicked. Hearing this, Itachi also waked up. He was sleeping next to her and said, "Ka-chan, you are awake. How are you feeling now?" he asked in a worrying tone. Then Makoto remembered the incident of the last night. She thought he must have brought me in his room and treated me. "How are you here, Itachi? I thought you were on a mission." "Yes, Ka-chan, I were on a mission, but Hitomi-san told me everything about the plan and I diverted my mission to Shisui because I knew father would do something to you." "But tell me, mother, why you didn't defend yourself? You were far stronger than him. Only you and Shisui have Manchikyu Sharingan in our clan." Itachi asked her. He knew that his mother was the strongest Uchiha. "I couldn't do it, Itachi. When he told me that everything was a lie, I went in shock knowing that the man I loved was nothing but an illusion," she said while crying on Itachi's chest. Hearing this, Itachi embraced her and said, "That's why I love you and respect you the most, mother, and I want to be like you. You have the power but never abuse it. You are kind to others even if you are stronger than them. You are the hope of our clan," Itachi said with tears in his eyes. "Tell me, Itachi, are you real? You wouldn't leave me, would you, like everyone else?" Makoto asked, still in his embrace. "Mother, know this, I will never leave you because I love you, mother." He said this and tightened his grip. Makoto was still not trusting anyone after what his husband said. But she was tired, very tired, and fell asleep in his arms. Seeing this, Itachi smiled and slowly put her on the bed. After this, Itachi always seemed to holding her in his arms and she was glad that someone was taking care of her. Flashback end. Itachi replied, "Mother, I was thinking that should I trust Naruto? I mean, he's a child but didn't seem like one. Like he's an adult in a child body. What do you think?" Itachi, what you said is true, but I think we should trust him. If he has even 1% Kushina's genes, then he will not do anything to you. Besides, he just want to test his theory. It's not like it will definitely work, but if this work, then know this, you will have power without losing someone. The price of Manchikyu Sharingan is very heavy, Itachi. I know this because I have one. Hearing his mother's words, he got a bit relaxed and he turned towards her, kissed her on the cheek and embraced her. She smiled at this. Itachi was very powerful, but in front of her, he acted like a 5-year-old boy. She also kissed him, first on cheek then his forehead. Then he went sleep in her arms. Next morning, Itachi woke up early in the morning. He saw his mother was sleeping on his chest. He smiled remembering last night. He kissed her on the forehead and left her on the bed. He went to Shisui's house and knocked on the door. Shisui came yawning and wondering who might be this early in the morning. He opened the door and was confused as to why Itachi came this early. "Itachi, why are you here, this early in the morning?" Itachi came inside and explained everything that Naruto told him. "So what you are saying is that a mere 4-year-old boy knows about the Manchikyu Sharingan and came up with a theory to unlock it without losing someone. Have you gone nuts, Itachi? Do you even know what you are saying?" Shisui said, irritated as to why Itachi even believed this bullshit. "Yes, may seem like that I'm an idiot for trusting this boy, but know this, he is not some normal boy. If you will listen to him, then you will also believe him and start to respect him," Itachi said, smiling. Scene change. At Senju compound. Naruto woke up on the of his mother. He lifted his face and looked at Tsunade. He thought mother is beautiful like always. He moved to her and kissed her on the lips. At this, Tsunade also woke up and started kissing him. "Sleep well, Naru-kun?" she asked with a smile. "Yes, Ka-chan. How can I not, after all I was sleeping next to my goddess? She blushed at this and he kissed her again and said, "You look beautiful, mother, as always." He moved to her and started it while playing with others. Tsunade smiled and bring him 30 minutes he emptied both her and left it. Ka-chan, let's go. Today we will test my theory. Tsunade nodded and lifted him in her arms and went to bathroom. With Shisui and Itachi. They were both walking down the streets. When Shisui asked, "So who's this kid Itachi?" Itachi smiled and said, "Naruto Uzumaki." "So you mean Kyuubi brat knows about our clan and you trust him?" Shisui asked. "As I said, Shisui, when you will meet him you will know why I'm trusting him. One thing more, be respectful to him. He believes very much in manners and don't comment about Tsunade-sama, just what he say, listen to him." Itachi said, smiling. "What do you mean by that, Itachi?" Shisui asked. "Don't worry, when we get there, you will know what I was talking about." Itachi said, smiling. After 15 minutes of walking, they reached the Senju compound and knocked on the door. After 30 seconds Shizune came and opened the door and invites them inside. When they entered the house they were greeted with a sight. Shisui saw a three-colored hair boy who was sitting on Tsunade's lap. When he saw Tsunade he blushed heavily. She was wearing a very tight t-shirt and pajama. The tight t-shirt was definitely doing the work, her large was sticking to the t-shirt. "Hey, why are you looking at my mother like that?" Naruto asked angrily as he tightened his grip on the Tsunade. In the first time of her life, Tsunade saw her son angry and jealous. She blushed thinking that he was jealous over her. Itachi facepalmed his face. He was exactly worried about this. "I'm sorry, Naruto-san, I didn't mean to angry you." Shisui said, scared for the first time in his life because he never saw any child this angry before. "Anyway, my name is Shisui Uchiha. I'm Itachi's friend." Shisui said, smiling and nervously. He was worried that he may get angry. But he saw Naruto smiling. "I accept your apology and don't do it again. My name is Naruto Uzumaki. Son of Tsunade Senju, the most powerful and beautiful person on the planet," Naruto said, smiling. Now Shisui knew what Itachi was talking about. This boy has a mother complexion. "Anyway, Naruto-san, I had a question," Itachi said. "Go ahead," Naruto said. Itachi nodded and said, "Naruto-san, why did you choose me for this? You could have chosen anyone for this experiment. I mean, if your theory is correct, then they will gain very much power." Naruto smiled and said, "Your question is very authentic, Itachi-san. You see, when I said this theory to mother, she believed that it has 80% chance of success. She said that I should only experiment this on who I trust. At first I thought that when I go to the academy I will find someone there, but after meeting you, I know that there is not a single one that is a better candidate than you. As you may ask how I trusted you, meeting only once. It's simple, very simple. When I met you I knew that you are a powerful, very powerful but yet very humble, not arrogant fool like most Uchiha, and even when you were more powerful than me, you called me with the honorifics, unlike your brother, and most importantly you respected your mother most, and I believe that those who have these qualities are good people." Shisui, hearing this, thought this boy met only once with Itachi. And had deciphered him. He's really a genius. Itachi thought, as I suspected, this boy's IQ is on par with Inara. "Itachi-san, you should go in my garden. I have to talk to Shisui-san alone." Itachi nodded and left the room. When he was gone, Naruto said, "Shisui-san, do you have any genjutsu that is impossible to break?" Shisui nodded and then Naruto told his theory to Shisui. "Shisui-san, my theory is nothing complicated. You see, you have to cast a very powerful genjutsu on Itachi-san where he will see the death of his mother and yours. When he will see this in genjutsu he will experience in the real world. When I was reading the history of genjutsu it said that when a person feel pain in very powerful genjutsu like Tsukuyomi, he also experience this in real world. That's how I came to this theory. What if they saw the death of their beloved one and unlocked the Manchikyu Sharingan after this? The reason nobody had awakened like this was because there are only some cases where an Uchiha got caught in genjutsu. When you cast genjutsu on Itachi-san, he should not realize that he is in some genjutsu. So, what you have to do is, in the genjutsu you have to show Itachi that I tricked him into this and I'm after his Sharingan and my mother also followed me with this plan. I make him hostage and forcefully convince Makoto-san to kill you, and you kill Makoto-san each other at same time. Shisui nodded and thought that this kid really is a genius and why nobody has thought about this in Uchiha clan. After all, genjutsu were their forte, but how could they? Most didn't even know about Mangekyou Sharingan. Interrupting his thoughts, Naruto said, Tsunade, could you call Makoto-san? I think she will be needed after what Itachi will see in genjutsu. Tsunade nodded and left for Uchiha compound. Tsunade, Naruto, Makoto and Tsunade were seeing Itachi's eyes, hoping that it would evolve. Shisui had said to them that he will need time as this was not Tsukuyomi where only 1 second was needed. Suddenly they saw that Itachi's Tomo was moving round and then it changed the shape like this. First Itachi's Sharingan was like this. Then it became like this. He was crying but not from normal tears, it was bloody tears. Makoto saw this and said, everyone, run from Itachi's vision. He will use Amaterasu. Everyone immediately went behind Itachi. Then Shisui opened his eyes and said, is it working? Because in the genjutsu his eyes changed and used some jutsu named Amaterasu and black fire came out. Yes, Shisui-san, it worked, and then Itachi fell down unconscious. Tsunade and Tsunade suddenly checked Itachi and said he is exhausted from chakra. Tsunade took Itachi in guest room and Naruto asked Makoto, how did you know, Makoto-san, that Itachi is gonna use Amaterasu? Then Makoto activated her Sharingan, then her Sharingan shape changed. From this to this. Everyone gasped and Naruto said, you also have Mangekyou Sharingan. Yes. And it seems that blood-related people get the same abilities. She said this and everyone seems confused. Then she said, you see, when you unlock your Mangekyou Sharingan you get unique abilities and some common abilities. Common abilities are Susanoo, which is an impenetrable armor, but you see everyone's Susanoo is also unique. My Susanoo has Totsuka Blade, which can seal anything it touches, and Yata Mirror, which can reflect any attack, and it seems Itachi's unique abilities and mine also are Amaterasu, which is black fire that will not be put until it burn their target. And my second unique abilities are Tsukuyomi, where I create a world of genjutsu and I can do anything there for 3 days and it will be only 1 second in real time. Naruto was amazed at how powerful the abilities were and said, while Makoto-san, you Uchihas are definitely overpowered. She smiled at this and said, oh, mine is nothing, Shisui's abilities are way overpowered. Everyone said in unison, wait, you mean Shisui-san here has also Mangekyou? Then Shisui activated his Sharingan from this to this. Like this. What is your abilities, Shisui? Naruto asked curiously and excitedly. Just like Makoto-sama said, I can use Susanoo. My Susanoo can dissolve anything it touches, including other people's Susanoo, and from the center of my Susanoo, I can send infinite no of needles made from my Susanoo. And my unique abilities are that I can use genjutsu on anyone I can see if they are looking in my eye or not, and the genjutsu is unbreakable even by tailed beast, and my best abilities are Kodomatsukami, where I can erase or create memories of anyone I can see. But I can only use this abilities with every 5 years. He said, smiling and proudly. Wow, Shisui-san, you are definitely overpowered. Naruto said, smiling. But you should not forget, Naruto-san, that we can't overuse our ability or we will go blind. Naruto smiled at this and said, well, Shisui-san, I have an alternate for that also. Everyone except Tsunade was surprised. Shisui stuttered and said, what? Naruto-san, but there is no counter for this. Even Madara Uchiha had to steal the eyes of his brother. Well, you are right about that, Shisui-san. When I read Hashirama Jiji journal and came to know that if you want to keep light in your eyes, you have to transplant your blood-related relative Mangekyou Sharingan. But one day when I asked my beautiful mother about her seal, as he said and kissed Tsunade's cheek, she said to me that this seal stores your chakra directly from your chakra coils. And when you use this seal it will destroy your unhealthy cell and reconstruct your healthy soul. But as you know, Everything has two sides and this has also. As a payment for this jutsu it takes your life force. Obviously if you are an Uzumaki then the payment will be in negligence amount, but if you are not then every time you will use this you will age a lot, but I already considered this in making my theory so you don't have to worry about. You see I want to create a similar seal but very smaller, it will only repair your eye. If the seal is successful then you can use your manchikyu without worrying about the bad effects of manchikyu. Everyone smiled at his explanation. Then Shisui said, "You are definitely a genius Naruto-kun." Yes Naruto-kun, you are definitely a genius. At your age children don't think about what you think. You didn't only find an alternate to unlocking the manchikyu but also for its bad effects, Makoto said smiling. But Makoto-san, you don't have to use the seal now, right? You can exchange your eyes with Itachi-san. Naruto said smiling and excitedly. Yes Naruto-kun, you are right. Now we will exchange the eye and achieve eternal manchikyu Sharingan. Oh yes. I have an idea why Tsunade-sama doesn't perform the surgery now, as Itachi is also sleeping, and when he wakes up and hears the news, he will definitely be very happy. Makoto said, hoping that she will perform the surgery. Tsunade looked at Naruto, who was in her lap this whole time, and asked, "What do you think Naruto-kun?" "I think you should do it, Ka-chan." Naruto said excitedly, hoping to see what changes will occur now. And Shisui-san, about the Byakugo seal, I think you have to wait 10 years for that because Ka-chan said that I will have the seal in 9 years, and as per my calculation the seal that I will create will take 1 year at least. Shisui happily nodded and said, "No worries Naruto-kun, I will wait. After all, you have given me hope that I will not go blind, and I think my manchikyu have that much time." Shisui said and thought that this boy will definitely create the seal, and when he grows up, he will be quite the monster. After what I saw today his IQ is definitely on par with a Nara, and Itachi also said that he completed leaf balancing and tree climbing in 1 day. He also has 9 tails inside him. I'm sure he will be able to control that in future. He will definitely be a monster. Makoto stood up and went to Naruto and lifted him from Tsunade's lap, hugged him and whispered to him, "Thank you Naruto-kun, you have done so much for me and my son, we could never repay you. If you need something in future from us don't hesitate to ask. Kushina would definitely be very proud of you." She broke the hug and kisses him on the cheek. He blushed a bit. No one except his mother has touched him, but this woman, she hugged him and also kissed him on the cheek. He just nodded. Seeing the blush she giggled and looked towards Tsunade. She was eyeing Makoto like she had snatched Naruto from him. She was feeling jealous. Seeing this Makoto thought that it looks like Tsunade also has a son complex. Tsunade instantly grabbed Naruto and seated him on her lap while hugging like he has returned from a very long mission. Shisui saw the tension between two females and broke the ice and said, "I will go now and will come tomorrow after surgery for checking on Itachi and Makoto-sama." Like that he goes from there via Shunshin. Next morning, surgery was successful. Itachi woke from his slumber and remembered everything as to how Naruto betrayed him. He was angry at Naruto and on himself as to how he was fooled and it cost his mother's and his best friend's life. Suddenly the door opened and Tsunade came from there and Naruto was in her arms. As he sensed them because on his eyes there were bandages, he knew that they had stolen his eyes. He shouted, "You little bastard, how dare you to trick me? Why did you kill my mother and brother? They didn't do anything to you." Itachi shouted angrily and hate in his voice for Naruto. As Naruto heard his words, Naruto sighs thinking he doesn't know anything. Makoto was also woken up from shouting. She knew why Itachi was shouting. Shisui had told her yesterday. She removed her bandages. She saw her son and went there. "Sochi, it's alright, nothing happened, that was a genjutsu," she said sweetly, smiling, and then removes high bandages and embraced him. "Ka-chan, are you real? You are not genjutsu, are you?" he said, crying. Makoto explained to him the entire event from gaining manchikyu to eternal manchikyu Sharingan. After she finished the story, Itachi hugged her tightly and said, "Ka-chan, I was scared that I lost you. I was very scared," Itachi said while crying. It's alright, my Soichi. I'm here, aren't I? She broke the hug and kissed him on the cheek, then hesitant on the lips, realizing what his mother was doing. First, his mind gone blank. There were many things that were coming to his mind, and then he let go of all his thoughts and enjoyed the kiss that his mother was giving to him. He was glad that his mother chose him, as he was also waiting for this but couldn't tell his mother for the fear of rejection. He looked at her and embraced her again and said, "Ka-chan, never leave me alone again. You know that I love you most in the world, right? If you leave me here alone, then there will be nothing for me to live here," Itachi said, almost like begging. She broke the hug and kissed him again and said, "I will never leave you again, my Soichi. You are my baby boy. How can I leave you?" She said, smiling. Naruto interrupted their union and said, "Well, I'm glad that you are alright, Itachi. But I'm here for seeing your Sharingan. I'm sorry, Naruto-kun, that I shouted at you. It's alright, Itachi, you did the right thing, and now show me your Sharingan and tell me what changes you feel." Naruto said, excited. Itachi nodded and activates his Sharingan, and it become first this, then this, and finally this. "Wow, Itachi, your Sharingan looks way cooler than before. Our pattern also changed. Wow. Just wow." Naruto said, excited. Itachi simply remembered that this was still a 4-year-old boy. "Of course my eyes became this powerful because of you, Naruto-kun. I cannot thank you enough. You really are a genius," Itachi said honestly. "As for the changes, you should ask Ka-chan about this, because I had never used Mangekyou before, and now I will directly use Eternal Mangekyou Sharingan, although I can see way more clearly than before, your chakra path also." Makoto then said, "Okay, Naruto-kun, I will show you my Sharingan, but you will have to come to me," Makoto said, smiling. As he came there from his mother's arm, she instantly grabbed him and hugged him, then kissed him on the cheeks. Seeing this, Itachi and Tsunade got jealous and started to release unintentionally their ki. Sensing ki, Makoto immediately looked at Tu and said, "Hey, it was just a friendly kiss, nothing more. I was just thanking Naruto-kun," she said to the two. Then she told Naruto to look her eyes, and he looked. Her Sharingan become from this to this, and finally this. Seeing this, Naruto instantly hugged her and said, "I didn't think that the pattern can get more cooler than this, but you proved me wrong. You look very beautiful with your beautiful red eyes. When I look at your pattern, I lost myself there." Hearing this, Makoto blushed. Nobody has ever said to her that she is beautiful. "You think I'm beautiful, Naruto-kun?" "Of course, Makoto-san. I never lie to anyone," Naruto said honestly. "Oh, stop with that honorifics, Naruto. Call me Makoto-chan already," Makoto said, smiling. "Are you sure, Makoto-chan?" As he said, he blushed a bit. "That's better, Naruto-kun," Makoto said, smiling. "Hey, stop with that flirting already," Itachi said with jealousy. "Hey, we are not flirting, we are just bonding with each other," Makoto said, irritated. As she said this, Tsunade came from her place and lifted Naruto from her lap in her arms and kissed him on the cheek and hugged him and left the room without saying anything. Makoto got up from her seat and said to Itachi that they should not tell anyone about this development, because they were only after Madara Uchiha, who had achieved this level. Itachi agreed at this, and before he was about to leave, Shisui came to them and asked them about their eyes, and they told them everything. At night in Tsunade's room, they were both in their beds as Naruto was drinking and playing from her. Tsunade said, "Naru-kun, can I tell you something?" Naruto nodded while she said, "Naru-kun, I was afraid today that Makoto might steal you from me. And when you praised her, I got jealous that you might think that if she has Sharingan, then she is more beautiful than me," Tsunade said hesitantly. Naruto, seeing his mother's face, instantly left her and kissed her, but not like most of the time, he was kissing her aggressively. He broke the kiss. "Ka-chan, nobody can steal me from you. I'm yours, you're alone, and you are mine and mine alone. And I said the truth, Ka-chan. She looked beautiful, but as I said to you many times, Ka-chan, you are like a goddess to me, nobody can even come close to you. Stop comparing yourself with a mere mortal. Sharingan looks cool, but not cooler than your tricolored hair, your face, your seal on your forehead. I love everything about you, Ka-chan." You are a goddess to me, my goddess. And for jealousy Ka-chan, I was glad that you got jealous over me. It shows that you love me as much as I love you. You know when Shisui checked you out yesterday, I was furious and jealous at first in my lifetime as I thought that you belonged to me, only me. As he said this, he immediately kissed her again with same aggression as before. As he kissed her he was also massaging her with both of his hands. And then broke the kiss and looked at her smiling again and said, "Feel better Ka-chan." She looked at him smiling and said, "Better than ever my Naru, as you said those words, I became instantly happy and you are right that we belong only to each other." She grabbed him and shoved his face between her and said, "Sleep well my Naru."